Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. How are you? So we are here to discuss the latest immigration news. Good morning, Elijah. How are you? Good morning. How are you? Yeah, we are talking about deportations, flight to safe third countries, and what to do about those type of deportations. So we're talking about it, and I want to, and then I'm looking into what is the latest immigration news. Hello, how are you? We are talking about the deportation flights to South Sudan, and if you have a question, you can put it in the comment section. Okay? Have a question? Please put it in the comment section as we share screen. Let me share my screen so I can start talking about what's going on. Okay. So the judge says Trump administration violated court order with deportation flight linked to South Sudan. This is 8 people from Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, Cuba, Mexico, and South Sudan. They all were deported to South Sudan, according to this article, right? And then after the deportation flight with 8 migrants left Texas, reportedly intended for South Sudan this week, a federal judge on Wednesday ruled that the Trump administration had violated previous order. Um, it's like the U.S. District Court judge in Massachusetts said at the hearing that the administration had failed to adhere to an injunction. Sorry. He issued in March that prevented people from being sent to countries where sent to country other than their own without opportunities to raise fears of persecution. I'm sorry, let me drink water. In other words, if they're trying to deport a person to a country that's not his country, that person has the right to reopen their case and raise concern. And they have to be heard for a fear of persecution in that country. So, or torture. So basically, they reopened the case for withholding of removal and Convention Against Torture to make the claim because of that country where they're deporting them. So they have the right to file a motion to reopen and to be heard on withholding of removal or torture. because they're going to a country that's not their country, right? So they have the opportunity to be heard, but it looks like it's appear that this administration is just deporting people to safe third countries without them filing their motion to reopen. They're not being heard. So basically, that's what's going on. Let me stop right here first. Okay, yeah, that's what's going on with that deportations to safe third countries type of deal. It's happening. Let me see if we have another news. Okay. I'm reading here update. So basically, on May 19, the Supreme Court granted the Trump administration emergency request to pause. That's about the TPS for Venezuela. So now they're talking about what's going to happen to their work permit. Immediate impact on up to 350,000 Venezuelan and their employers. Okay. Yeah, so basically the employment authorization it's done too, because the TPS was terminated. Okay. What else we have here? And in courts, in immigration courts, basically what they're doing, they're pre-terminating asylum applications if it's incomplete. If they find out that the asylum in question application is incomplete, they're going to pre-terminate your case without you giving you the opportunity to be heard. And they're dismissing cases. People who have been here for less than 2 years, under 2 years, their cases are being dismissed, and ICE is outside waiting to make their arrest, to place those people in expedited removal proceedings and on deportation flights. So basically, that's what's happening at those immigration interviews, ICE arrests at USCIS interviews. Um, yeah, let's see here. Let me see. Oh, I saw some news on USCIS website. I want to discuss those news as well. By the way, if you have a question as I'm speaking about those latest immigration news, you can just put your question in the comment section so we can answer those questions. Okay. If you have a questions as I'm speaking about those, talking about those latest immigration news, just put your question in the comment section so we can answer those type of questions. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen for those news. Okay. What's going on here? USCIS updated their systematic alien verification program to ensure a single reliable source of verifying immigration status and U.S. citizenship nationwide. Okay. Yeah, this is the breaking news. Jamaican citizen arrested for making a false claim of citizenship to register to vote in the 2024 presidential primary election. So basically, this person claimed that they're a U.S. citizen so that they can go and vote. That's what happened. That's what happened in that case. Jacqueline Wallace, 52, a Jamaican citizen, has been arrested on federal criminal complaint and charged with unlawful making of false claim of citizenship in order to register to vote in the 2024 Florida presidential election. Yeah, so she was I guess there was an investigation against her. According to the criminal complaint, Wallace into the United States in 2010 on a 6 month Bijoux tourist visa and did not return to Jamaica as required. In 2024, Wallace registered to vote in federal election using an online system that requires certification of United States citizenship, which she did not have. In 2024, Wallace cast a ballot in the federal 2024 Florida presidential primary. Wallace was arrested by agents with Homeland Security investigations and investigators or Bay County Sheriff's Office. If convicted, she faces up to 5 years in prison. Those are the things that, you know, some people will put it in on their applications for employment, like falsely claiming U.S. citizenship. It's really bad because you might face time in prison, or you might face what we call denial. You be inadmissible for a green card, because there are several people here now, they're eligible for a green card based on the U.S. Citizen spouses, based on VAWA, based on petitions for you know, parents type of child relationship, and they cannot adjust status because now they are inadmissible because of falsely claiming U.S. citizenships. They cannot waive that. So there are three things that cannot be waived: falsely claiming U.S. citizenship, fraudulent marriage, uh, sham marriage, and applying for a frivolous asylum application. So yeah, those three things, you will never be able to waive those. And once the decision is final and there are clear convincing evidence, yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. So you face prison or become inadmissible. So those are the things to avoid. And especially now, if a person is applying for U.S. citizenship, they really have to look at their record to see if there's something going on. If there's something going on in their record, yeah, it's gonna be bad. And then we have this one: USCIS investigation of a Cuban national indicted on charges related to credit card scheming and lying on a naturalization application. This is another one. Okay, that was in Florida. Especially Florida is good. Florida is like, okay, I get it, Florida. But anyway, U.S. Attorney's Office of the Middle District of Florida announced on an indictment charging Butermani with 22 counts of access device fraud. Wow, 22 counts of access device fraud, possessing and trafficking in unauthorized device making equipment, aggravated identity theft. When it comes to theft, this is mandatory detention. Okay, making a false statement on an immigration application and making false statement to the federal agent. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services provided valuable assistance to the investigation. According to the indictment, Burris Bartani engaged in series of transactions between November 2023 and January 2025, where he sold counterfeit credit card and debit card containing stolen victim account information. So basically identity theft. Yeah, so, and then if you do like that, then he goes and apply for U.S. citizenship. Of course, they're gonna find that. Yeah, so he's facing a penalty of 10 years in federal prison, you see. And he also faces mandatory sentence of 2 years imprisonment for aggravated identity theft. When it comes to fraud, yeah, I believe even the green card will be, after, let's say he gets convicted, he's going to be placed in removal proceedings, and his green card is going to be in jeopardy. When it comes to fraud, it's first of all mandatory detention because it's aggravated felony, and the green card is in jeopardy. Most of the time, you don't win. Most of the time, so yeah, people just have to be careful on those type of actions. There is another one here. Palestinian charged with unlawful possession of firearms and ammunition. Yeah, firearm, unlawful possession of firearm. So maximum penalty is 15 years in federal prison. And those crimes involving firearms, I don't think if they're waivable. I don't think so. But anyway, stop sharing. But anyway, what's going on is that if a person has, let's say, um, some type of criminal records, it's not necessary at this point to go and try to apply for US citizenship because it's just going to be denied, and there will be a lot of investigation. And yeah, just I don't think it's a good idea. Okay. By the way, we don't have a lot of people here to this live session. I don't know why, but maybe it's too early. But it's 11. 11 is not too early. 11 is not too early. Maybe I should be sharing. Let me share it. Let me get my phone and start sharing it so that we can get some people to ask their questions. Those are the things that are going on. Immigration news. Let me see what else we have here. ISIS ending migrant court cases in order to arrest and move to deport them. So basically, they're fast tracking deportations. Yeah, so if you've been here for less than 2 years, it's kind of it's kind of tough for now for a lot of people. Okay. Any questions? No questions? Let me share let me share it because I feel like let me stand up. Give me one moment. I need to share my video. I need to get my phone and share my video. I'll be right back. Okay. So I'm back. Sorry, because I need to share this video because we have like only 5 people in the house, so I need to share this video myself. You need to be sharing. If you're not sharing, I have to share it myself. Give me one moment to share it, okay? I have a question here. Let me share my video first. Since you're not sharing, let me share it myself. Oh Lord, it's immigration thing and stuff. Let me share my video, then I'll get back to your question. Um, okay, I already shared on WhatsApp, so now I'm trying to share on my IG, so we can. Okay, give me one moment. Finish sharing. I'll get back to the question. Okay, I just shared my video. So what's going on? It says motion to dismiss more proceeding with I-130 approval has 4 months. What could I do to move forward? You just wait, because really there's nothing else you can do. You already filed your motion to dismiss. Um, was that a joint motion or just a regular motion? And the case pending? Is the case open in court with a court hearing or not? There are a lot of things you have to know in order to determine whether or not you have to wait for too long. If the case is open with the court, you can call them, find out, because it doesn't take long when the case is open. If it's a joint motion, that's two, doesn't take long if ICE has already agreed. But if it's just a motion that you're trying to get ICE to agree, that you have no control. You can follow up with ICE, but you really have no control. That's what I'll say. And let me see. Let me put this news too, so we can talk about this news as well. Okay. So ICE ending migrant court cases in order to arrest and move to deport them. Okay, so what's going on in court? The Trump administration um, has launched an operation to terminate the immigration court cases of certain migrants in order to arrest them and place them in fast-track deportation process. Instead, government official and attorney told CBS News lawyers and advocates this week reported arrest of migrants outside of immigration court houses. So basically, if your case you've been here for less than 2 years or under 2 years or just above 2 years, they're asking the court to dismiss the case. And once the case is dismissed, they are going to detain you. ICE is going to arrest you, detain you, and place you in expedited removal. So the lawyers are trying to oppose those motions, but by the time the judge has already granted dismissal, basically the lawyer is going to file for an appeal. But meanwhile, ICE has already detained you. It gets really complicated. So that's what's happening. Two Department of Homeland Security official told CBS News that ICE is conducting an operation to expedite the deportation of migrants with court hearings scheduled in the near future. It's the latest step taken by the Trump administration to dramatically ramp up immigration arrests across the country and fulfill what the president has promised will be the largest deportation campaign in American history. So the operation involved ICE prosecutors asking immigration judges to terminate the court cases of certain migrants so agents at the agency can instead arrest those individuals and place them in a more rapid deportation process known as expedited removal. Expedited removal is basically when the officer will decide on your case without court hearing. Usually they take people from the border, but now they expanded it. Even if you came with a visa, and then apply for asylum letter, but if you've been here for less than 2 years or under 2 years or just above a little bit above 2 years, yeah, that person can be a target. Okay, so that's what's happening. Okay, joint motion, no hearing case pending still. Joint motion, ICE already accepted that, or are you on the process of basically you send it to ICE in order for ICE to accept? If ICE already accepted it and you send it to BIA takes like 9 months. Okay, but if ICE accepted it and then send it to immigration court, it doesn't take too long. You can call the immigration court yourself, because BIA, if you call them, they're not gonna answer you. You're not going to get a response. But if you call the immigration court, you might get some type of response. You know? So basically, that's what's happening with those cases. Yeah. So if I already signed on it, you don't have to worry. The only thing you can do is just wait, because really, there's not much you can do. What I'm saying is that depending on where your case is, if it's with BIA, you just wait about 9 months, 8 to 9 months, you get a response. But if your case is with the immigration court, you can call them to find out why it's taking too long, if ICE has already signed up on it. Okay, so that's my answer to that. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Do we have any questions? It looks like today we don't have question, or maybe I came early. Do we have any questions? Anybody has a question, please put it in the comment. We already talked about what's going on, so now I'm just answering questions. If you want, let me see if you can ask your question live. Here's the link. If you want to ask your question live, you can click the link there. I'll try to answer your question live as well. But you appear here, right? So you just know that if you appear here, it's gonna stay on YouTube. You can cover yourself if you don't want people to, if you don't want to show your face. But I'm not putting my video down. I am not putting my video down. Actually seeks approval by USCIS, but the immigration court refused to dismiss the removal proceedings. Is your case, it's an old case, or is the case open? Do you have a hearing date? Yeah, if you don't have a hearing date, it's basically your dismissal is coming late. So the immigration court has the right to do what they want. Most of the time, when the case is open, most likely they will dismiss your case. But if the case is like you, yes, you have hearing. Oh, okay. But uh, you can always ask for adjustment of status in court. You have, yeah. If they refuse to dismiss, how about adjusting in court? And you can appeal too, right? If they refuse to dismiss, you have the right to appeal. I don't know what your lawyer's strategies is, but if I mean, you have the right to appeal, you have the right to ask. Since they refuse to dismiss, maybe they should adjust your status in court or something. So, yeah, you have the right to appeal if you don't agree with the decision. That's basically that. Okay. Yeah, I am just trying to wrap up here because we don't have questions. We don't have questions. I might just stop. I guess people are still sleeping, but it's 11:38. It's like, really? I don't think it's the time to be sleeping at this time, really. Okay. Okay. We have questions. Okay. Let's see. A proof of what cases are you talking about? Which cases are you referring to that have been approved? VAWA cases that have been not approved. You know, those cases, spousal visa. Yeah, those spousal visa. To be honest with you, it just depends on what service center your case went to. Some service centers, they don't have a lot of cases, then they approve those cases faster. Like we just filed on May 20, I believe it was May 20. Let me double check. We just filed, let me double check. We filed around May, hold on, let me double check. We filed when? We filed around May 12th, and we just received a biometric already. This is I-130. We already received a biometric, which simply means that this person, they're going to call them anytime soon. They're going to call them for the interview. They already received the biometric appointment for next month. So, but we have cases where we file, then they haven't received a biometric appointment. Yeah, you just have to wait because, it's case by case basis. And sometimes what I've noticed, people who have been married for more than 2 years, their I-130s take a little bit longer than people who have been married for less than 2 years. I believe so. That's what I think. I'm not sure if I'm correct, but that's what I've seen so far when consular processing. Yeah, there's really no answer for that, to be honest. It's just like the processing center where your case went. Yeah, it's just taking longer than other people processing center. So yeah, you just wait. Yeah, right. So what I've seen with my cases personally, people have been married for more than 2 years. Their I-130s take longer because I guess that's my opinion, of course. I guess feel like the reasons why it's because they're gonna get a 10 years green card. But people who've been married for less than 2 years, their cases goes faster because they're only getting a 2 years green card. So basically, they have to go back again to remove the condition. So that's what I've noticed with my cases. People who, let's say the person got married a month ago, and then we apply for I-130, I-485, the work permit, everything. It gets processed, like the work permit get processed within 6 months, and then the I-130 get approved within 1 year, and they get their green card, the 2 years green card, and so forth. That's what I've seen, you know. But, case by case basis, case by case basis. Took a year on Nebraska. I'll give it. I'll give it 20, 23, 20. Yeah, I don't really know, but I'll give it. I always give people a minimum between 1 to 2 years to get the green card. That's what I always give everybody. And most of the time it works like that. But in Baltimore, sometimes it takes forever. Like we have a case like it's still sitting there. I'm not sure what's going on. At some point, that's now up to the client if they want to file a lawsuit. Because this case is for 2021. Um, the I-130 was finally approved. We removed the person from the person has been removed from how do you call it? From the removal. Person has been removed from those removal proceedings, but that person is still hasn't got their green card yet, still pending. So yeah, it's like it's taking forever. I'm tired of sending them letters and stuff. It's just like I don't understand why it's taking too long. I really don't. I'm just like I'm shocked myself. So it's just depend. Between 1 to 2 years, you should get your green card. Tough. Between 1 to 2 years, you should get your green card. Yes, this is really bad timing. Yeah, again, Hossein, case by case basis. Some people are lucky, some are just not, right? So, case by case basis, some people get their green card in 3 months. You know what I mean? Like in 3 months, they get their green card. Some people, some people, case by case basis, okay? But you have your right. You can call them to find out what's going on. You need to, if you like worrying about it, you can call them. You can call USCIS to find out what's going on with your case. But to be honest with you, they're just gonna tell you to wait. Okay. Let me talk about this one too. Let me talk about this news too. I feel like we should talk about it. Okay. Let me share this one so we can talk about it. Okay, it says here CBP Home assistance assistance to volunteer self-deport. DHS is using the CBP Home app to incentivize the volunteer self-departure of alien illegally in the United States. I don't understand why they're saying they're calling it volunteer self-departure. Yeah, but anyway, the Department of Homeland Security has announced a historic opportunity for illegal aliens to receive financial and travel document support to facilitate travel back to their home country or another country where they have a lawful status through the CBP Home app. Okay. If you are here illegally, self-deportation is the best, safest, and most cost-effective way to leave the United States to avoid arrest. DHS is now offering illegal alien financial travel assistance and stipend to return to their home country through their CBP home. This is the safest option for our law enforcement alien saving. Yeah. So this is what they're offering. Why? Financial travel and document assistance for those in need. Illegal alien who registered for voluntary self-departure through CBP may be eligible to receive financial assistance for their departure. If requested, the U.S. government will assist in booking tickets and with obtaining necessary travel documents. Alien requesting assistance will have timely departure arrangement facilitate them. Departure be within 21 days of approval. So this is for someone who decides to go home using this app. Basically, you put your information and they're gonna help with the cost of the airlines and airplane tickets, the cost, and then gives $1,000 when you actually arrive. Um, and and then you're not going to be placed in detention and live safely and travel like normal without being travel, without detention. But the thing about this one is basically if you've been illegal, the laws are still the same in terms of the ban. Because when you go home, how are you going to come back? Been here for more than 1 year, it's a 10 years ban. For less than 1 year, but more than 6 months is a 3 years ban. So that hasn't changed. Um, I'm not sure. Yeah, but anyway, that hasn't changed. Um, but when I check in USA Postal Time, it's showing November 26th. You think this is right? You know, USCIS will always put what they want to put there. So for me, what I tell people for green card, just give it 1 to 2 years. If you feel like after 2 years there's nothing's going on, then you can reach out to them. You can ask your congressman to help you. You can file a lawsuit if you can, but you know that's just the waiting time. There's nothing I can say about it in terms of is it white, is it not white. It's just what it is. That's what they put there, you know. So some people who have, like people who live like in Maine, for example, those small states, Missouri, Maine, those type of people, their cases don't take too long. I've worked with people in Maine, Missouri. Um, the cases goes fast because they don't even Kentucky. They don't have a lot of cases. Their case goes like that. But people who live in places like Baltimore, we have a lot of cases here. The cases go like forever. You know, people be waiting forever. So that's just that. Okay. Yeah, anyway, so we don't have a, please like, please share. Since we don't have a lot of questions, I already talked about the latest news. We are going to resume next week. Happy Memorial Day weekend. This is the weekend of Memorial, right? Yeah. Live in New York. Yeah, you should call them and find out what's going on. You know what I mean? You should call them. You just have to call them and find out because, you know, nothing I will do on my side. So you need to call them and find out what's going on with your cases. Okay. Thank you very much, Osen. Please like Osen. Please like, please share, by the way. Until next time, bye-bye. We'll resume next week, probably Monday. Let's see how this Memorial weekend goes, right? If we're going to have another breaking news or not. Probably not. It's the weekend. But arrests are still going on, especially if the person gets arrested in the weekend. That person will stay there the entire weekend until the business day, which is going to be Tuesday, because Monday is that's the worst weekend to be arrested. Um, the worst weekend to be arrested by ICE, because you're gonna stay there. Somebody got arrested. I saw in the system. You're gonna stay there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday morning. If the lawyer doesn't do their best, then they get transferred to another detention center. This is being arrested on a Friday is bad because, yeah, business are closed, nothing can do. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for, have a nice weekend. You too. Have a nice Memorial weekend. Good morning from New York City. Craig James, John, sir. How are you? We're already wrapping up. We came late, by the way. Thanks for joining us, even late. We started too early. Now we're done. Oh no, I'm late. Yeah, you're late. We're done. I mean, at least you have a quick question to place it there, but we're done. We've been talking for about uh 51 minutes, so basically almost 1 hour. If you have something to say, you can just say it, But other than that, we were just like done. Okay. Follow us, by the way, on IG or TikTok for more updates. Until next time, bye bye.